Presenting is Kindred Spirits by Durand. Let's get to it. The piece is located in the Crystal Bridges Museum in Bentonville, Arkansas. It was brought there by the founder of the museum, Alice Walton, who paid over $35 million for the painting at an auction, making it the most expensive auction-bought painting ever at the time. The work was completed in 1849 as a tribute to the passing of Durand's close friend, Thomas Cole, who is pictured in the painting. Cole was the founding father of the Hudson River School of Painters, where Durand attended for a number of years. In fact, Durand was one of Cole's earliest disciples at the school. The painting was presented to William Cullen Bryant. Bryant performed the eulogy at Cole's funeral and is the man pictured to the left of Cole in the painting. Durand presented the painting to Bryant at the funeral as an honor to the eulogy he gave for the life of their mutual friend. Durand began his artistic career as an engraver, but soon turned to painting when he was asked to complete portraits of the 7 presidents who had served in office at the time. Durand would soon go on to be recognized as one of the finest landscape painters of his era. Durand was an overtly religious man and believed that God existed in nature. He considered his depictions of God's creation as a unique form of worship. The painting is a depiction of the Catskill Mountains, located in lower New York. The Catskill Mountains were the primary source of inspiration for Thomas Cole's landscape depictions, and Durand likely used the same landscape as a way to honor the career of his mentor. An interesting fact about the painting is that it is not a literal depiction of the landscape. It is based solely off of Durand's idealized memory of the land. He completed the whole work without literally looking at the landscape he was painting. Kindred Spirits is a piece containing many defining characteristics, including unique perspectives, shapes, and use of light and color. This work contains a one-point perspective. One-point perspective gives the illusion of depth by foreshortening objects alongside and around a central point in the work. In this piece, the central point is the river. For example, the trees, hills, and rocks surrounding the river appear to get smaller, making them appear further away, thus adding depth. Durand utilizes a specific type of shape in this painting. The use of geometric shapes is absent in this painting because it depicts live, organic matter. Durand is using irregular shapes called biomorphs. Biomorph shapes more accurately describe subject matter such as the plants and human beings seen in the painting than geometric shapes would. Kindred Spirits is a chromatic work. It contains different levels of light intensity. It displays a relatively low intensity close to the painter's point of view, as it is darker due to a thicker foliage. As you get further with the perceived depth in the painting, the light saturation becomes more and more intense with more direct exposure from the sun. This painting can best be analyzed using a deconstruction methodology. This methodology attempts to open up the work to search for a deeper meaning. It challenges initial assumptions about a work of art and seeks to determine the ultimate meaning. In this particular work, there are numerous possible underlying themes within the painting, but to the average viewer, it might be seen as a merely meaningless depiction of a beautiful landscape. Using the deconstruction methodology, we challenge the simple assumptions that may be made by the average viewer. By delving deeper and opening up our view on the piece, we can discover multiple themes and underlying messages. One of the more apparent messages can be discovered when reading into the history of the piece. The piece was completed as a tribute to the man it pictures, Thomas Cole. It makes sense for one to not be aware of this when first viewing the work. It could very well be a painting of 2 men simply observing the beautiful scenery. By challenging this assumption, we are required to dive deeper to open up true meanings. The landscape depicted, the Catskill Mountains, are a parallel from the painting to the man it is dedicated to, as Thomas Cole continually made a name painting the same land. The man alongside Cole on the bluff is William Cullen Bryant. His presence can represent the companionship that people felt with Cole. Durand likely included the second man in order to explain, in a way, the effect that Cole had on other people. Those who are more knowledgeable on Durand's life and history are aware that Durand depicted nature as a form of worship because of his belief that God existed within nature. Kindred Spirits was completed within the Romantic period of the late 18th and early 19th century. The Romantic movement swept through Western Europe and the United States and can be defined by a passion for nature and the peace, beauty, innocence, and power that it held. In the painting, Durand sets up a comparison between the 2 prominent themes of the Romantic period: the overwhelming vastness and beauty of nature, as well as the destructive power it also has. Painting of his era. Thanks for listening to my presentation.